What up, what up, what up? Good to see everybody. What's up, Jinx? Olivia, Jari, what's up, guys? What's up, Forever? It's a great song. Sorry if I sounded a little snuffy or stuffy, better yet. I just had like a little allergy attack. A little sneeze fest. Yeah, this group is The Eaters. They make some really good beats. Keep me chemically happy as long as I can't see it. It isn't really happening. As long as I can't see it and you tell me it's not my problem, I'll ignore. Yeah, The Eaters, they keep all their stuff copyright free. But do nothing, just keep walking, just keep working. Take my life force, see production, and the ending of it all. You'll have something, I'll have nothing. Just give me the good life and tell me it's all alright. I don't want to know anymore. Keep me blinded. What's up, Michelle? Hold me down, restrict my thoughts and control my movements. Let's do it. I like to be watched. It makes me feel a safe little consumer. Deprive my senses. It's a thin line between life and existence. I want to be average, no longer class, liberal misfit. Just give me the one world. You guys like my thumbnail? Just give me the class-based society where I know I'm insignificant, and I know that I can't fight it, and I know that it's decided. Oh, Jinx, I'm a big fan of Tom McDonald. Wouldn't say big fan, but I'm definitely a fan. I don't like political music, but I make an exception for him. Keep me constricted, physically and mentally restricted. Leave me fear of open spaces. Leave me blind to all your cages. I don't trust you. I don't believe you're right, but I don't care. I don't trust you. I don't know you, but I know that fighting is despair. I don't trust you. I don't believe you're good or well intended. You don't know me, but that doesn't change the fact that you control me. You guys ready to get started? What's up, Copper? How are you? Jinx says I'm on the same page, Slew. He's good as hell, and I'm not really into political tunes. I hate political stuff. The second Eminem went political, I was just like, I'm done with you. It was a complete turnoff. But I mean, if you're gonna start your career, that's what you do. You make political music. I may be able to get on board. Good, Copper's good. All right. Let's get going, guys. And once again, sorry if I sound stuffy. Like about a minute before we started this live stream, out of nowhere, I just started sneezing. I get really bad allergies around this time. Jinx is right, dude, and I effing loved Eminem. Yeah, when he made that song about Trump, like when Snoop made that song about Trump, I was like, man, you guys are just some simps. Are they from the streets? Trump's a G. I don't care what anybody says. Hey, what's up, TTM? Judy, what is going on? All right.
Let's pull up the agenda here. So I think mostly we're going to do a comparison. We're going to kind of look at Alvin Bragg. If you guys don't know who Alvin Bragg is, he's the Manhattan district attorney who is said to be Soros backed and basically ran his campaign to become the district attorney on him fighting against Trump. So we're going to kind of look at that a little bit. We're going to look at what's been going on in Manhattan since he's been running around those streets there, letting people off for DUIs, robbery, assaults against police, attempted murders. He's just letting people go. But yet he wants to make a big deal about some hush money or whatever that campaign issues. Oh, that's where you're going to stand your ground. That's not politically motivated at all. I mean, yeah, if you're going to make a statement, yeah, go make it against Donald Trump, somebody that you have no political qualms with. The dude ran on the fact that he was going to go after Trump. If you run on the fact that you're going to go after Trump, guess who your biggest supporter is going to be? George Soros. Donald Trump is his biggest enemy. You guys want to talk like that's anti-Semitic? Guys can't do that. Not with this son of a bitch. Because I think right now in Israel, they're being persecuted too. And Trump was a huge supporter, not to mention his family is Jewish. Soros isn't a real Jew. He's what we refer to as a Zionist. There's a difference. Judy says season for sneezing. Yeah. I went outside to grab the groceries when my wife got home. I was outside for I guess I was out there hanging out on my phone, texting, talking to my neighbor. But yeah, it had to been 15 minutes at the most. Then boom. That pollen got up in my nostrils and stings. Stings a little bit. Like a little sting. I think we should get started with this. Do you guys know who Brian Williams is?
Well, look at the time. I'll try to keep this.
From MSNBC. Now, this is from 2021, shortly after Biden started running everything into the ground. Didn't take him long. But it was enough to inspire our friend here.
This brief, after 28 years of peacock logos on much of what I own, it is my choice now to jump without a net into the great unknown, as I do for the first time in my 62 years. My biggest worry is for my country. The truth is, I'm not a liberal or a conservative. I'm an institutionalist. I believe in this place, and in my love of country, I yield to no one. But the darkness on the edge of town has spread to the main roads and highways and neighborhoods. It's now at the local bar and the bowling alley, at the school board and the grocery store. And it must be acknowledged and answered for. Grown men and women who swore an oath to our Constitution, elected by their constituents, possessing the kinds of college.
And this was 2 years ago. So he saw what was coming. He had the inside scoop for sure. And he didn't want to be on that side at all. He said, I'd rather get out of the business than play for your team.
Degrees I could only dream of have decided to join the mob and become something they are not, while hoping we somehow forget who they were. They've decided to burn it all down with us inside. That should scare you to no end as much as it scares an aging volunteer fireman. To my coworkers, my love and thanks. And I say again, everyone I've worked with has made me better at what I do. To my family, love and thanks doesn't begin to cover it, but now I have the time to better express it. My friends know who they are. No one's been blessed with better friends. To the guests on this broadcast, as you heard the
Judy
nice
Bodine
man say a
says,
few
"We all
minutes
saw
ago,
it
it's
coming, now
always
it's
been
here."
about you.
Oh,
Otherwise,
exactly.
I'd be staring into the camera for an hour, 5 nights a week, and nobody wants to see that. You are the 11th hour and will continue to be the 11th hour. This is where I thank you, however, for being so great, for explaining these last 5 years. As a proud New Jersey native, this is where I get to say regrets. I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. What a ride it's been. Where else? How else was a kid like me?
Yeah, this guy, to me, I get these vibes like he was sitting in a boardroom and they were telling him, okay, this is the objective. This is what we got planned for the future. You know, buckle up. And he's like, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Going to meet presidents and kings and the occasional rock star. These lovely testimonials that I can never truly repay make me hyper aware that it has been and remains a wonderful life. It's as if I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning in Bedford Falls. The reality is, though, I will wake up tomorrow in the America of the year 2021, a nation unrecognizable to those who came before us and fought to protect it, which is what you must do now. My colleagues will take.
And this is back in 2021, guys. Pretty sure this was shortly after the first few debacles of Biden. And the fact that we just ignore it, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost been 4 years and we just ignore it. We act like it hasn't happened. We've already forgotten. That's our thing, is we have a short memory span. We've already forgotten about Afghanistan. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at Alvin Bragg. He went on Hot 97 when he was campaigning. His entire campaign was the fact that he was going against Donald Trump.
Are they going to convict Donald Trump?
Look, that is the number one issue. We know he's investigating. And what I'll say is I was the first to announce against Cy Vance. I too have a lot of issues, which is why I decided to run. I'm the candidate in the race who has the experience with Donald Trump. I was the chief deputy in the attorney general's office. We sued the Trump administration over 100 times for the Muslim travel ban, for family separation at the border, for shenanigans with the census. So I know how to litigate with him. I also led the team that did the Trump Foundation case. So I'm ready to go wherever the facts take me and to inherit that case. And I think, it'd be hard to argue with the fact that that'd be the most important, most high profile case. And I've seen him up.
Okay. So you want to hear about the guy who was basically trying to put brakes on a presidential process? You're looking at him. Sued Trump and his business is over 100 times. Why? Why are you doing that? Well, let's look at something that he's very proud of after he became district attorney of Manhattan.
The Reverend said we were specific. We said we were going to marry fairness and safety. And we laid out a specific plan. We put it on the website. We put it in.
Did he just use the word fairness?
Print. And this week, after January 1st, we got down to work. And we are doing what we said we would do. We know that our first civil right is the right to walk safely to our corner store. But we also know that safety has got to be based in our community and fairness and cannot be driven solely.
Okay, so what he's being so boastful about is him getting off this woman here. Let me read this article. This was disgusting. I'll show you guys a video clip here. Maybe a video clip. I don't know. It may be against policy. I'm not sure. But let me read this New York Post article. All right. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg cut a break for two women who allegedly attacked New York PD cops in a wild caught on video assault. And it wasn't just the women, it was like the entire neighborhood was attacking the police. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Letting one of them off the hook and downgrading the charges for the other. The Post has learned Kimberly Rivera, 33, one of the accused combatants in the Tuesday evening melee in East Harlem, had her felony assault charges dropped to third-degree attempted assault, a misdemeanor, officials confirmed. Her compatriot, Felicia Davis, 32, fared even better. Bragg's office dropped the charges against her entirely. Damn, Felicia. Though a spokesperson said she may eventually be issued a summons. Once again, the Manhattan District Attorney has let the good, hardworking people of Manhattan down, one Big Apple cop told the Post. Now, I may or may not have a video. I thought I did. Let me see if I can find it. It may not be the best idea to play it here. Let's yeah, screw it. Channel 2, whatever. I know I have it. Just give me a moment. I know I grabbed the clip. Okay. I think I did grab it, but I think I deleted it. I chose not to show it. It's basically here. And that's why I have these images. Let's show one of these images here. Okay, so law enforcement was trying to arrest this person, and the entire neighborhood like attacked the police. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? You can go watch the video if you want, and look at this knucklehead up at the top. He's up on the car and he's filming. He gives no shits about any of his people. Doesn't give two shits about the law enforcement. And the sad part is you got people that live in this neighborhood that don't like any of these fucking knuckleheads here. They called the cops. They said, come out here and get these damn people. We're trying to live normal lives. These guys aren't trying to live normal lives. This ain't normal. Attacking the police. But the sad part is they've been convinced that the police are there to hurt them. And I'm sure the police ain't been doing everything right. But when you're dealing with criminals and killers and rapists, you know, you need a wolf. Sometimes you need a wolf to go out there and fight these wolves. Look at this. Look what they're up against. You can't be an average Joe and go deal with this kind of shit. There's people that have gone through their entire life and not been punched in the face. These people can't go a week without either being punched or punching somebody in the face. They don't live a normal life. America is no longer in this normal place. We have states like New York and California. They're gone. They are completely lawless states. So go ahead and keep supporting this stuff, guys. You're responsible for all of this. You're not standing up. You're not using your eyes. And a part of it is that you don't have God in your life. You know, God gives you these simple rules to live by. You know, if you got eyes, use them. If you got ears, listen. It's really very simple. You've allowed these people to confuse you. You're fighting for things that don't even help you or your family or your community. Yeah, I think this is a fight that we've lost. I think it's over. I don't know. I feel like we're done as a country. We're going in a different direction. Oh, Christy RN says, I'm a little late to chat, but I seen where the same DA had a parking attendant. Yes, I have that story. Yep, we're going to show that story in just a few. I'm glad you brought that up. But before we get there, let's go ahead and listen. We'll actually take a look at that right after this. I want to listen to this article. It's kind of one of those annoying articles where it's like those robot voices. But just listen to the facts and listen to the information that's put out, what the article is putting out.
By Paul Bond. On January 1, 2022, Alvin Bragg pledged one standard of justice for all and a new perspective as he was sworn in as Manhattan's first black district attorney, recalling how he had been stopped by police at gunpoint as a 15-year-old boy. He would make history once more if he were to indict Donald Trump and have him arrested. His investigation of Trump has already shown that he's no softy when it comes to his treatment of a wealthy former president and leading presidential candidate, but it is also fueling the accusations of critics that his progressive policies are soft on New York's day-to-day crime. Trump said on his social media platform, Truth Social, on Saturday, that he believed he would be arrested on Tuesday, without presenting evidence. Bragg has been investigating Trump's alleged involvement in an illegal scheme to pay hush money to an adult film star ahead of the 2016 election. Bragg is a Democrat, and the line of attack from Trump and his supporters is that the DA's investigations are politically motivated. Bragg's record will be scrutinized on a national level by
I plan to scrutinize it tonight, actually.
a conservative seeking to demonize Bragg as a progressive elitist with little regard for the victims of crime in his own city. Bragg did not respond to Newsweek's request for comment. Nor did Trump. On Sunday, Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy showed the direction that Trump's allies would be taking by tweeting, Alvin Bragg is abusing his office to target President Trump while he's reduced a majority of felonies, including violent crimes, to misdemeanors.
Yeah, and it's funny, they talk about fascism, but if you know anything about history, this is the kind of shit Hitler was doing. You know, he was going after his political rivals. He was manipulating the public opinion. That's very similar. Now, they try to compare Hitler and this Nazi movement to Trump because of his nationalism, but that's not what Hitler was all about. You guys need to go do your homework.
He has different rules for political opponents. Bragg's position, and that of his supporters, is that he is waging a battle against a lack of equity in the criminal justice system, given that there is an outsized proportion of minorities being sent to prison. Trump is on record calling Bragg a racist, and his allies say the DA's tactics have led to a surge in crimes committed in Manhattan as prosecutions have fallen. Bragg has been in office just a year, but Manhattan seems to be getting progressively worse in crime, said John Lott, president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, which describes itself as a nonpartisan research organization with academic.
Judy Bodine says Trump wants everyone to see what they're doing to him. We are next, in my opinion. Well, honestly, there's been people that have been going to jail, been arrested, that are sitting in a jail cell right now for supporting Donald Trump. This might be time for him to really, really understand like what people are going through. Like we're at a fork in the road. You know, we're being torn in this weird direction that doesn't have the United States best interest at hand here. They're not inspired by that. They're going in their own direction. They're thinking about their families. They're thinking about lineage. They're thinking about the future. But most importantly, they're thinking about all the money that they're being paid to turn their back on the United States. And I'm just not sure if it's too late. It could be too late, guys. I'm not sure.
Affiliated from Harvard University, the Wharton School, University of Chicago, University of Michigan, and Emory University. Lott is also author of the book More Guns, Less Crime. According to his group's research, culled from the Manhattan DA office's data dashboard, from 2021 to 2022, Manhattan's 7 major felony offenses, murder, rape, robbery, assault, burglary, grand larceny, and grand larceny auto, rose by 26% to the highest since 2006. The
Damn.
investigations into Trump have been over accusations of involvement in payments of a total of $280,000 to porn actress Stormy Daniels and Playboy model.
Okay, so we're gonna let the killers, the robbers, the rapists, and all of these thugs running around these neighborhoods, we're gonna let them go. But Trump, no, we're gonna get his ass.
Karen McDougal so that they would keep quiet about earlier relationships with him as he was running for president in 2016.
Shit seems really
Any
evil to me.
indictment would be expected to include testimony from former Trump attorney Michael Cohen. Trump has already made clear he does not expect fair treatment if indicted, and at the weekend posted the message, "Protest. Take back our country." Suggesting that message could be interpreted as a call to riot rather than protest. MSNBC legal.
Wait, don't you guys remember when the whole BLM protests were going on? They were like, these aren't riots, these are protests. Man, you want to talk about double standard, guys? I mean, at what point do we just say, hey, like, we're not going to take this anymore? We're not going to put up with this shit.
Analyst Glenn Kirshner told the network on Saturday that Trump has now just given the judge that will preside over his arraignment hearing food for thought about what kind of conditions should be set for the release of this dangerous man pending trial. The payments to Daniels and McDougal are alleged violations of campaign finance laws since they were unreported, though such violations are typically the purview of the federal government, not a Manhattan DA.
Mostly peaceful.
And they're
Don't mind the let's take a look at the story here that Christy brought up. I'm a little late to the chat, but just seen where the same DA had a parking attendant charged with taking the gun off a guy who shot him 4 times and shooting back.
Carlson, tonight, happy Monday. So here's a story from over the weekend. At about 5 a.m. on Saturday morning in Manhattan, a parking garage attendant called Musa Diarra noticed a man peering into parked cars looking for things to steal. Now, that's a familiar scene in New York City. Alvin Bragg, who is the local Soros-funded DA, has decided that prosecuting car burglaries is a form of white supremacy. As a result, not surprisingly, car burglaries have risen quite a bit. Musa Diarra, the attendant, is not white, but apparently he's sick of watching other people get robbed, so he told the man to get out, leave the garage. In response, the man pulled out a handgun and fired 4 times. He hit Diarra in the head and the stomach. It was a nightmare.
Soldier.
But somehow, Musa Diarra had the presence of mind to wrestle the gun from the man and then fire back before the man could shoot him or anyone else. By the time police arrived, both men were lying on the sidewalk bleeding. Now, what do you think happened next? In a sane, self-respecting society, Musa Diarra would have received a medal, if not a ticker tape parade. But in the city of New York, he was arrested and charged with attempted murder and illegal possession of a gun, the same gun that had been used to shoot him.
Damn.
Diarra woke up in Bellevue Hospital shackled to his bed. The New York Post ran this picture. It's of him sobbing. "I got bullets in me and I'm chained to a hospital bed," he said.
This is what you get in a liberal or a Democrat city for trying to stick up and do the right thing, trying to help people. You know, these spoiled white liberals who are out here preaching this shit and pushing this narrative, they've never really been out here on the streets. They've never been robbed. They've never had a gun put in their face or told, hey, give me all your stuff. You know, they've never sat at a bus stop and had a gun pointed in their face. They have no clue what it's like. And it has nothing to do with color at all. Because people of color, they're sitting at those same bus stops and they're getting guns put in their face. They don't like those people either. It has nothing to do with race. It's just a certain group that think it's okay to break the law. And these people are making them think that because they want to perpetrate this chaos. If that's not obvious by now, I guess we'll wait until they make it obvious. But it's obvious to me already.
But I didn't do anything wrong. You can imagine his confusion. This was not the country he expected. And in fact, Moussa Diarra is exactly the kind of person you want more of in your country.
And you guys are you guys also should not expect the America that we've known and love, because it's changing. Nobody's standing up. Nobody's fighting for the country anymore. So until you stand up and do something about this, it's going to get worse. And it has gotten worse. And it's only going to continue to get worse.
He's 57 years old and he's still working harder than most young people do. In fact, when New York shut down during COVID, as lawyers and nonprofit executives hid in their apartments, living on DoorDash and stockpiling surgical masks from Amazon, Diarra went to work every day like Americans used to. The man who shot him, by contrast, does not have a history of going to work every day. His name is Charles Rhodey. We checked. He's got a rap sheet of nearly a dozen serious crimes that go back more.
So that kind of behavior is okay. Yeah, let's show this image again. This image is okay. This behavior is okay as well. By the way, this person here, shortly after this, she was released. She committed another assault, a much more violent assault, by the way. Look at this fucking idiot. Oh, look at that. Look at the chaos. Let's go ahead and catch this on film real quick for my YouTube channel. Man. I don't know, guys. It might be too late. You know, there's a reason all this is happening. Okay, so according to the Manhattan District Attorney, this is good. This okay. Assaulting police officers, not allowing them to do their jobs, just basically chaos. This is okay. This is equality. This is equity. Okay. This is not quality and this is not equity. Let's take a look at what they're actually combating. Not that. Assaulting a police officer? No. Robbing, people defending themselves after they've been shot? Nope. Can't do that. They want us to allow them to commit the crime because they're hungry. These people aren't hungry. If they were hungry, they would go steal food. Yikes. Okay, so lady hitting cop, good. Let's see what they think of what is bad in Manhattan or to the Democrat Party. Let's take a look at what they consider bad, if not the woman hitting a cop or letting people out for violent crimes, including attempted murder. Let's see what they despise. If not that, let's take a look at what they hate.
Welcome home, Sergeant Williams. Thank you very much.
This evil
As the
man.
world bears witness tonight, America is a land of heroes. This is a place where greatness is born,
Not
where
anymore.
destinies are forged, and where legends come to life. This is the home of Thomas Edison and Teddy Roosevelt, of many great generals, including Washington, Pershing, Patton, and MacArthur. This is the home of Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman,
You got to
the
speak
Wright
up, Jari.
brothers, Neil Armstrong, and so many more. This is the country where children learn names like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, and Annie Oakley. This is the place where the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth and where Texas patriots made their last stand at the Alamo.
So that's bad. Pro-American, down with any pro-American talk. But if you want to go ahead and assault law enforcement or a police officer, I'm sure you had a good reason. But we're not going to incarcerate you anymore. Okay, what happens when you let them out and then they commit the crime? They're going to jail then, right? Of course not. Nope. Yeah, Pelosi is trash. You want to talk about a swamp monster? Oh, man. Queen swamp monster right there. Judy Bodine says there's only one way out of this, in my opinion. And it's almost like that's what they want. That's where they're driving everybody to. It's just unreal. And we lived in the greatest country, you know, our entire lives, and this shit's happening. It just doesn't make any sense. It's by design. It doesn't have to happen. Somebody is controlling this. Somebody is driving this bus. But why? Why would they do this kind of stuff? I just don't understand. Let's see what Pence had to say.
As you well know, as all of our viewers know by now, voting to indict the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. He's now the first president, former president in American history to be criminally charged. It's a really significant development. I want to get your reaction.
A lot of this is because they know that Trump cares so much about his legacy. He wants to leave a great legacy. You know, Trump wants to be like, I'm one of the greatest presidents of history, which if you look back at his record, he really was. You know, the things that he said and the things that people convinced you of, oh, he's a racist or he's a rapist and all this stuff. They didn't have any proof of that. This was an attack on his character. But if you look at actually what he's done, walking the walk, look at the action that the man has done. He really was a great president. And I think if we wouldn't have had President Trump, we may not have had this whole epidemic. You know, I think it was like a part of some type of sick strategy. And we're all just sheep. We're all just science experiments. And Trump was trying to put an end to that. So maybe it's good that he's kind of facing this kind of persecution because people all over the country have been facing persecution for Trump. And he didn't clear the swamp. He didn't fight against the pandemic. He didn't stand up the way he should have. He let Fauci just fucking sit there and say all the stupid shit. And now he needs to suffer those consequences and fight the good fight and get us to that point where he wins this election and then he can really do something. But if he doesn't, oh man, I'm going to be pissed.
To this unprecedented development?
Well, I think the unprecedented indictment of a former president of the United States on a campaign finance issue is an outrage. And it appears to millions of Americans to be nothing more than a political prosecution that's driven by a prosecutor who literally ran for office on the pledge to indict the former president.
But it wasn't just Mr. Vice President, excuse me.
And that's 100%. We just saw that. His entire campaign was the fact that he's fighting Donald Trump. He says, I sued his companies and him and anything attached to him over 100 times. And he's still fighting that. He's attacking Donald Trump and he's being put into positions of power to politically persecute. If you are for that, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're un-American. 100%.
For interrupting. It wasn't just the prosecutor, the district attorney in New York who did this. This was a grand jury of some 23 people, and you need a majority, 12, to go ahead and criminally indict.
Well, I understand that. And been a long time since I was in law school, Wolf, but I remember the old saying, you can indict a ham sandwich, right? The threshold, the burden of proof is very low. Prosecutors make decisions, discretionary decisions about what they bring all the time. Federal prosecutors passed on this. The Manhattan DA initially delayed it, passed on it. But when you have an attorney general in New York and a Manhattan DA that targeted one particular American in their campaigns, I think that offends the notion of the overwhelming majority of the American people who believe in fairness, who believe in equal treatment before the law. And this appears to be just one more example, Wolf, of the kind of two-tiered justice system that the American people have had enough of.
But your Justice Department, the Trump-Pence Justice Department, as you well know, they charged Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, over these very same payments and said he made them, and I'm quoting now from the Trump Justice Department, in coordination with and at the direction of Donald Trump. Cohen spent more than a year in prison. Do you concede that was a crime?
Well, I concede that lying to Congress is a crime, which was, if memory serves, what Michael Cohen went to jail for the most part.
That wasn't just the only charge.
But here's the issue. I have to tell you, I'm traveling around the country a lot. My wife and I are going through a process of making decisions about our future. And, I was
just get to
that. I know, but I was just.
Are you going to interrupt the former vice president as much as I want to smack him? This fucking guy, look at his stupid haircut. He's looking in the camera like, you guys caught that, right? You guys see me talking shit, right? To Pence? You're getting that, right? Fuck this guy.
In Iowa yesterday, I tell you, I was 3 different cities. And even though this has been in the news over the last 2 weeks, and issues about me and another investigation were in the news, not one person raised this issue to me. And I have to tell you, the media's obsession about these investigations 100%. Into Donald Trump, I think is being lost on the American people who are struggling under the weight of the failed policies of the Biden administration. But look, this I think the American people are going to look at this, see it as one more example of the criminalization of politics in this country, and it's one more example of the kind of drama that captures Washington, D.C.
But you're a law
and makes
order,
it almost impossible for us to solve the problems.
You're a law and order politician. If Trump is convicted of these crimes that he's being charged with today, should that disqualify him from being the Republican presidential nominee, or should he?
If Pence was a real G, he would take that CNN coffee cup that he has in front of him and he would throw it right at his face. Oh, wait, did I just say that out loud? I mean, it's good that Pence is standing up. He's sticking to his guns, and these guys are very powerful at manipulation. They can get to anybody, even Pence. Imagine if Pence was president. Imagine what they would have done to him. We need somebody like Donald Trump. Even these Democrat voters need Donald Trump. They don't realize it yet.
Start a new week together. Tonight at this hour, Donald Trump is meeting with his new legal team as he prepares to be the first former president to see the inside of the courtroom as a defendant. On Tuesday, he'll travel down to Lower Manhattan to surrender to the New York District Attorney. And tonight we're wondering, will there be cameras in the courtroom? Trump's lawyers today opposing them, arguing it would create a circus-like atmosphere. We are also learning new details about the charges, including at least one felony likely for falsifying business records in the first degree. That felony charge did not prevent Trump from running for office again. Trump was escorted by the Secret Service from his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida to his Trump Tower apartment in New York City. Crowds have gathered and security is tight. The entire NYPD on standby. We've got team coverage, and CBS's Robert Costo will start us off from outside the courthouse in New York City. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening, Nora. A surreal and historic American scene today. A former president making his way to New York.
And that's it. They're like, okay, Trump, your legacy is the most important thing to you. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to tarnish and taint your legacy. Because no matter what we do and no matter how we interpret what's going on right now, when our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children are reading the history books, all they're going to see is that he was indicted. He was impeached. All they're going to see is this messed up things that these left-leaning people are going to print in the books, because these aren't the things that right-leaning political people or citizens of the United States care about. We don't care about that. The right-leaning people, or even center-leaning and conservative types, they care about family. They want to have a good career. They want to have a good community. and they care about their children. But these other people, that's not what they care about. They want to go around and they want to do what they want to do. They don't care who they hurt. They want laws set in place with no consequences. They want to be able to do the things that they want to do without consequence. And the Democrats are going to give them this. They're going to give these spoiled brats what they want, because in return they get what they want. They get a vote.
Ahead of a criminal arraignment, all as legal and political uncertainty hover.
Supporters cheered on former President Donald Trump as a motorcade of black SUVs shuttled
Did
him
I just
to Palm
fart?
Beach Airport.
No.
The beginning of a history-making trip that now finds Trump in legal jeopardy and the political spotlight.
I'm not sure you can hear it
Once
through
in
the
New York,
microphone
Trump
if I
made his
did.
way through a city on high alert with protesters and police officers on the streets. Trump is already on the attack ahead of his arraignment, claiming the judge overseeing the case, Juan Merchan, hates me, and calling the prosecution a witch hunt.
This was a political persecution. I've been around criminal justice for 35, 36 years. I've never seen anything like this, where you literally announce your target and revive cases with perjuring witnesses in an effort to just bring him down at all costs.
Though the indictment is sealed until Tuesday, sources say Trump will likely be charged with falsifying business records in the first degree, a felony, stemming from his alleged role in hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels back in 2016.
A raspberry?
I should
What's
not
that?
be held accountable for Donald Trump's dirty deeds.
This
Michael
guy's
Cohen,
a
key witness for the
sleaze.
prosecution, alleges
He's a
Trump directed
scumbag.
him to make the payments to Daniels. Cohen has served time in prison, partly for his role in that exchange.
Does this ultimately get to trial? I know he won't settle. That's not in his, it's not in his DNA. He will fight this all the way to the end.
On Tuesday, Trump will arrive at Manhattan Criminal
Unlike
Court for
you little
processing
bitch.
just before noon. He will be fingerprinted and may stand for a mugshot, but he will not be handcuffed. At the 2:15 arraignment, the judge is expected to outline the charges against Trump and ask for him to enter a plea. District Attorney Alvin Bragg's decision to indict stunned and angered Trump, but he has also capitalized on it. The campaign claims to have raised over $7 million since.
When they go after me, they're going after you.
Republicans came to Trump's defense this weekend, including potential competitors in the 2024 race.
They're trying to do all these legal gymnastics to try to
Oh,
act like it's a felony.
That thing?
But other
Oh, yeah, I did do
Republicans
that.
sense Trump's 2024 presidential campaign
That was my
could now
mouth.
be vulnerable. And at least one rival, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, jumped into the race Sunday.
We need to have a leader that can distance themselves from
Yeah, GP, I don't give a shit about that. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Mr. Trump.
And ahead of a possible trial, Trump has now added a new lawyer to his ranks, Todd Blanche, a veteran criminal defense lawyer who once represented former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort and a Rudy Giuliani associate.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Manhattan's crime is rising. Their crime rates are rising, and the people that are getting convicted, once they're charged, is dropping. Yet you're going to spend all your resources going after Donald Trump. And the thing is, in New York, nobody's going to stand up for that. I mean, we're losing our country, guys. I'm not sure what we can do other than talk about it. But it's really scary the way that they're able to accomplish this. They're very patient, and that's kind of scary, the way that they're just slowly chipping away at things. It's almost like how do you combat that? You're just trying to be a normal person. You're trying to have, you're trying to have a good career, have a good home, have a good family. And they're just slowly chipping away. They're like, no, we're going to change things. We're going to change your entire reality. And we're going to do it one nut bag and one nut job at a time. All right, we're coming up on the hour. Let's take a look at Trump when he was on his way to the airport. And this was him leaving Florida. Florida's like, we love you, Trump. Yep. That's why we got welfare. 100%, Miss Thing. The more government we have in our home, the more dependent we are on them. But it doesn't matter what we learned, you know. All it takes is time for them to convince the next generation. And they're slowly, it seems like they're slowly beating us, you know. They're slowly beating us at that war of explaining to our children and our grandchildren exactly what's going on. We're losing that war. You know, they're coming after the children. And we're not paying attention to that part. Jinx, you can do whatever you want. I saw that, Miss Thing. He's supposed to give a speech, yeah. After his arraignment. And maybe we'll go live. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I had for you guys today. So we'll most likely start to wrap it up. We had about an hour to hang out. Never, Lynn, ever. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted to do to Trump. They're like, you underestimated us. You said we couldn't do it. Well, guess what? We're going to destroy your legacy. No matter what, when you open those history books, you were the first president to be indicted. You're welcome. Mess with us. We got more things planned for you. So keep going. They're trying to intimidate him and intimidate us at the same time. Because the truth is, if he stops what he's doing now and he's like, oh, you know, I'm starting to agree with the Democrats, this shit all stops. Thanks for hanging out, Judy. You're awesome. Shout out to everybody who was participating in the chat. You guys did great. Sorry we only have an hour. Let's play a little bit of outro music while we hang out in the chat. Always fun to hang out with you, Miss Persevere. Only one with any guts, Miss Thang. Everybody else is scared to say what's right. Good night, Olivia. Yep, all about control, Judy. 100. You got it, Jari. Always good to see you. Thank you, Jinx. Weak, soft people. At least Trump had the balls to do shit for us, the Americans, and trying to keep the money here. Yeah.
I don't want to make a difference anymore. Just give me the easy
They got the kids. You know, we forgot about the kids. They got the kids. They corrupted them. Just like the Bolshevik Revolution. Thank you, Miss Thang.
It isn't really happening. As long as I can't see it and you tell me it's not my problem, I'll ignore them. Get outraged from a distance when instructed, but do nothing. Just keep walking, just keep working. Take my life force, feed production. And the ending of it all, you'll have something, I'll have nothing. Just give me the good life and tell me it's all alright. I don't want to know anymore. Keep me blinded, take my rights. hold me down, restrict my thoughts and control my movements. I like to be watched, it makes me feel a safe little consumer. Deprive my senses, it's a thin line between life and existence. I want to be average, no longer class liberal misfit. Just give me the one world government which makes war upon the different. Just give me the class-based society where I know I'm insignificant, and I know that I can't fight it, and I know that it's decided all above my head by those who keep on taking what I've provided.
Thank you, Judy. You too.
Please just plug me into entertainment. Save me from a life of responsibility. Give me containment. Keep me constricted, physically and mentally restricted. Leave me fear of open spaces. Leave me blind to all your cages. I don't trust you. I don't believe you're right, but I don't care.
100, Michelle. 100.
I don't know you, but I know that fighting is despair. I don't trust you. I don't believe you're good or well intended. You don't know me, but that doesn't change the fact that you control me.
You guys have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. And I'm going to see you on the next one.